What's up, man? So today is the Rurouni Kenshin podcast day for Anime Boys. What did you think? Like, what his initial thoughts? Like, because you were hyped about it. I remember you were like, "This is the first one we have to watch."
Dude, I was hyped for it. And honestly, it kind of lived up to the hype. Um, I didn't know what to expect. All I knew about it was the wicked awesome promo cut from Toonami back in the day
Yeah,
on YouTube. And it was very much an anime of that time. A little bit of goofy with the main character until it came down to fight. Then he got serious and it was awesome. I liked it.
yeah. It's one of those ones that for me, it kind of like it was a slow burn. Like the first three episodes, I was like, "Oh Lord," and then like the fourth episode, I was like, "Okay, this is getting better." Then like the fifth and sixth, now I'm like, I'm digging it.
Dude,
You won me over.
and with the six, the way it ended, I was like, I kind of have to watch seven to
Yeah,
see what, and
I
I
hope you
haven't
didn't.
yet, but
Okay,
no,
good.
not
We
yet,
have to.
not
We
yet.
have to wait. We have
I
to wait.
know,
It's the
I
rules.
know, but it's killing me.
Okay, so for those that don't know, Rurouni Kenshin, it's created by Nobuhiro Watsuki. The anime began airing on Japanese TV on January 10th, 1996, and ended on September 8th, 1998. It was animated by Studio Gallop for the first 66 episodes, and then from 67 onward, it was animated by Studio Dean. I'm really curious if like we're gonna be able to tell a difference,
Right.
because like there's times where like I've heard with One Punch Man, like the first season's one animation group and the second season is a different. I guess some of the quality's gone down, is what I've heard.
That is correct.
Okay. So it's 3 seasons long and 95 episodes. So we're gonna be doing it 6 episodes at a time. So it's gonna take a while. It first came to Toonami on March 17th, 2003. So I did the math in my head. I think we would have been sixth graders at this time. And you didn't watch it when it first came out. So what were you doing instead of watching Toonami? Because you were a Toonami boy like me.
Dude,
Why weren't you seeing that?
I was a Toonami boy, but here's the thing about Toonami. You would watch Toonami on the weekends when you woke up on your couch at 2 o'clock in the morning and whatever was playing, you were like, this is amazing.
See, for
But
me, it was always an after school thing because I remember Toonami would also be like the after school block. Like I'd get home from 3 to maybe 5 o'clock. It was Toonami.
well, for me, my after school show was Digimon because I
Oh, I
loved
gotcha.
Digimon. So Toonami was a weekend thing. The thing is because of the randomness of late night weekend hours, I just never happened to catch any episodes of the show. I always thought from that promo, which if you guys haven't seen, you gotta check it out. It's one of the coolest anime promos ever because of the Optimus Prime voice actor cut all those promos, and he's an awesome voice actor. But yeah, this is one that I've wanted to watch since 2003, and here we are getting around to it.
I'm really surprised you just haven't watched it yet since you were kind of like watching all of the anime. I
Yeah,
figured this would have been
well,
before Naruto.
well, dude, the thing is like once you make a list, you just add and add and add and add, and you're
Yeah.
never gonna finish it ever.
Yeah. That's what I'm worried about with this podcast.
Hey, we have content until the end of time.
Yeah. Okay, so for those that don't know, also the plot, it's the story takes place in the Meiji era in Japan, tells the story of a peaceful wanderer named Himura Kenshin, formerly known as the assassin Hitokiri Batosai. After participating in the Bumatsu War, Kenshin wanders the countryside of Japan, offering aid to those who need it to atone for the murders he committed as an assassin. And then he meets this very pretty girl, and he's like, "I'm going to live with you." So
You're
it's
not
just kind of
wrong.
funny. It's just like, yeah, I'm just atoning. Then she's like, live with me. He's like, okay.
I mean, pretty girl asks.
Yeah. And she didn't even really ask. She's just like, you're living. And he's like,
Yeah, she's
you're
not really the asking type. She's
yeah.
more the demanding type.
Yeah. And so then we have Kenshin's played by, I didn't do
I
the
can do this
voice.
part since I
Okay, go
added the
ahead.
Japanese actors because
There
I
you go,
watched
man.
I watched it subtitled, and I'm
I
sure that
watched
you
it
probably
dubbed.
didn't. So
Well,
there
because
we
as we're
go.
watching it, I'm watching it Toonami style,
Right. I'm too much of a snob at this point. But anyway, with the cast, Kenshin is played by Richard Hayworth for the dub, and the sub is Mayo Suzuki. Sorry, Suzuzaki. I'm gonna try to do good with my Japanese names here. And then Karu Kamiya is voiced by Dorothy Melenders. And then the Japanese actress is Miki Fujitani. Yahiko is voiced by Elise Floyd and Mina Tominaga. And then Sagara is voiced by Lex Lang. What a cool name, by the way. And Yuji Ueda.
It's really funny. So in the dub, the Yahiko, they called him Yoshi throughout. So in my notes, it's Yoshi the whole time. And then like when I see the spelling, I'm like, that's Yoshi.
I love it when the dubs try to like dumb it down for the English speaking audiences.
So, and then just every episode, I'm going to try to do a fun fact about this, and I have like a really like non-good fun fact about this series that I'll do next time if we do it. But
I know what it is.
Yeah. But so for this first one though, the fun fact is it's based on a real samurai assassin, a man by the name of Kawakame Gensai, who lived during a tumultuous time in Japan history. This is all from looper.com. He was an honorable and peace-loving man known for his skill. His most famous feat, though, was the assassination of Sakuma Shozen, a politician who hoped to open up trade with foreign countries. Gensai then joined volunteer soldiers against the shogunate and was imprisoned for it. After his release, he changed his name to Koda Genbai and returned to his home where he became a teacher. He was arrested in 1870 for harboring fugitives and was executed via decapitation in 1872. So it's like, I hope that's not how Kenshin ends.
Yeah.
But, I just thought it was kind of interesting that they took this idea and went with it.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So now we're going to try to spend maybe 5, knowing us, maybe 30 minutes per episode while we talk about each of the episodes. So the first episode, it's called The Handsome Swordsman of Legend, a man who fights for love. So what's your initial thoughts on the opening music?
I think it's awesome, really.
I think it starts off awesome. I'm like, yeah. And then it just like, ba, da, ba, ba, da, da. I'm like, ooh, you lost me pretty quick.
Yeah. I mean, fair enough. I've just seen like so many at this time,
Yeah.
It's whatever.
Now I have a question for you, dude. When you're watching the sub, what was it's Batosai? Was it this? Did they go by the slasher also?
No, it was the Manslayer.
Okay, good, because that's what I always knew it as. I read some of the manga, and yeah, like I was just like, this is the man. He's the Manslayer. But then like in the dub, it's like the Batosai the slasher. I'm like, that's not right at all. So that makes me feel a little bit better. So yeah, like they don't have swords anymore. They have to use wooden swords, and then there's this guy going around pretending to be Batosai the slasher / Manslayer. And there's some of these art, like I'll kind of bring it up when we talk about our awards, but there's a part when the guy's name is Haruna or Haruma or whatever, the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
There's times where his like the art in it is like so bad where he's like, he doesn't have teeth when he's talking, but then other time he's like, his mouth just doesn't move, like his teeth are like closed. And it's just it's pretty hilarious with how that works. But yeah, the first episode you really dug. Yeah, what about it did you like, man?
I am a sucker for the wandering samurai type stories, as you know at this point, but I don't know. I'm just kind of a sucker for, like, in real life, there's nothing that I hate more than a bully. Like, bullies just really piss me off. So he deals with bullies essentially in this first episode, and it really makes me root for him because it's an issue that I take to heart. So, he protects the people that the Yakuza are bullying, and I don't know, that just kind of stuck with me.
Yeah, and then from there they find out that he's a good cook, and so Corey's like, you can cook and you're pretty foxy. Why don't you just live here?
And he takes about 2 seconds to decide, yeah, okay, let's do
Yeah.
it.
He's like, this wandering thing's not really for me. I might as well just live here.
Plus, I like that he is like the deadliest assassin in the nation, but then just like loves these two little girls and this old
Yeah.
man that also stay there.
And
It's fun.
this won't be on my quote, but I did write down a quote that was pretty funny about the grandpa. He's like, she's a great babysitter for my grandkids. Ha 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 ha. It's just
Dude,
like,
I
what?
remember that. Yeah. It's just as ridiculous in the sub.
And then like, yeah, I'll read some of these other ones I wrote down because like I have the one that I am gonna save, and it's like it's hilarious. But there's another one. It's by Haruma, and it's someone will pay for this useless thumb I can't use. It's like you didn't. I mean, you could just say this. Someone can pay for this useless thumb. You don't have to add I
Or
can't
just
use.
this thumb I can't use, like
Yeah,
one or the other.
yeah. But
But
okay,
dude, I will say, well, I don't know. I guess we're going by episode, so I can wait.
okay. Okay, so now episode 2. And unless you have anything else you want to add to
No.
episode 1. Okay. So this is episode 2, Kid Samurai, a big ordeal and a new student. So this is where we're introducing Yoshi as I know him. So yeah, they're needing students because they don't have any money. Like Kenshin buys dinner because he has money as a wandering swordsman. He has money somehow. I don't know how that works.
Let's be real. He probably took some during his war crimes.
Yeah. And then kid steals, and that's our new kid. His debt's the Shigomi. Corey wants to save him. They play a loaded dice. Yoshi doesn't tell her dice are loaded, which I was like, that's weird. But then it turns out that he put the dice back or whatever. And yeah, this episode I wasn't a big fan of because I don't like that kid.
Yeah, well, I think it's just he has to be like this in order for character development to happen, right?
Yeah.
So that's all fine and dandy. I didn't mind him, especially because it would be tough being a kid in that situation, especially when the Yakuza lied to him about his family and stuff like that. So it is what it is. I can definitely understand not liking him and thinking he's annoying, but I kind of liked the episode as like an origin story for him.
I will say this episode has my favorite scene in like the whole anime that of what I've seen of this. It's the one that always stuck out to me, and it's that part when the one Yakuza dude's like yelling at Kenshin, and Kenshin just hits him with the top of his sword and takes him to the roof. I'm like, that's so dang cool.
Yeah. And dude, you can just feel the power of Kenshin when he walks in without a weapon drawn, just like thumb ready to go on the hilt into a room full of enemies. It's like, oh, he is about to go nuts on these guys.
Yeah. And I'll share another quote that I had written down that was pretty funny. Or like it was something that was funny to me. Yoshi offered him Yoshi goes, hit me all you want. And it's like, I just really wanted the bad guys to be like, okay. And start just smacking them.
That's just because you wanted to keep smacking them.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I also like wrote down that this gave me Trigun vibes. And I think one of the reasons also, like, it not only is it because like, oh yeah, this really deadly guy doesn't want to kill anymore, but then I looked up the voice actor for the dub is Vash Stampede's voice actor in the dub. Nice. So that might be part of the reason.
Yeah. I've never seen Trigun dubbed.
Really? I mean,
I've seen clips because he's got kind of a silly voice, right?
I mean, it's the same. Like it's pretty good. It's not like Naruto where, holy crap, the voice actor for that is rough.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to add to that?
No, because this is our test episode, right? I kind of thought you meant like your favorite quote from all of what we watched, so I just wrote down one quote.
Oh no, that's basically what we're gonna do at the end when we have our like awards, like our awards. I just wrote down different funny ones.
Sure.
As I was going through, then I was like, oh, I already know which one's gonna be my favorite, but I want to share these things that I think are silly too.
Well, I will definitely do that going forward because it makes it more entertaining.
Yeah. Okay, so episode 3,
Sword.
Swordsman of Sorrow, the who slays his past. So yeah, this starts off with Yoshi being terrible. He wants to learn how to use a sword from Kenshin, and he saw Kenshin, fight, and yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to understand my notes, and it's not the best, but yeah, Kenshin's always cooking. Like that's one of the things I think is kind of funny. He's just like I have that in my notes. Kenshin always be cooking.
Yeah. Well, when the lady is terrible at it and everybody prefers his, then that's gonna happen.
Then the police show up looking for him. Uh, like it's like they say to Corey, like, but Tosai's helper, you want the death penalty? And then hits her back, and yeah, like there's always that gang, like in the older animes, where they all look the same. Like there's this group of like douchebags, and like the one's got the buck teeth.
Yeah.
And it's like this is in every anime from a certain era, and they're here. It's like their family. It's just the family of douchebags. Like it just always happens. Yeah, they're trying to think. Oh yeah, like when the swordsmen people are like doing douchey things, they're gonna kill Kenshin. Like they're gonna kill one of the people's. Kenshin pulls his sword, like now you can say it's self-defense when they kill him, and then like they just get wrecked, and then and then it's like an old war buddy of Kenshin's shows up, and he's like he wants Kenshin to work for him. But it's crazy to me that like the old war buddy looks like an old war man, but then like
Right.
Kenshin still looks kind of young. So it's like, how old is Kenshin? And is it weird that he's with Corey? Because I don't think she's that old, and Kenshin might be really old. And
Well, I mean, I think Koru is that young. It's just that that guy could have just been old in
fair
the
enough.
war.
Yeah.
Yeah, this episode was like fine, I think. I think it was one of the weaker ones that we watched for sure, just because I don't know. I mean, I guess we learn a little bit about Kenshin from the war days, but obviously we knew that he wasn't gonna be like, yeah, okay, I'll join the
Yeah. Like,
military, and like that's the show.
yeah.
But yeah, so then the next episode we get one of our new main characters introduced, right?
Yep. And that episode is episode 4, Bad. Introducing Sanosuke, fighter for hire. And yeah, it starts off with a dude beating people up. He needs a worthy opponent. He's one of those characters, and like the only downside is like he's in the opening scenes, so he's gonna be like one of the main characters.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of like, okay, I bet he doesn't die. I bet he's not a bad guy throughout the whole series, But yeah, like they're eating food. They're like all hanging out trying to eat food at this place. And first off, oh yeah, that's one of the things I thought was funny. Corey was like, hey, I got this art that my dead great uncle made. I'm gonna sell it so we can eat out.
Yeah, I know, dude. And
Just
then so like they do that, right? And then they don't even finish the meal.
No, and then like these drunk guys are talking about like getting democracy, and then they throw a thing at and Kenshin gets hit in the head with it, of course. And then like Sanosuke is there, and he beats up the drunk guys, and he's really tough, and he's like, Kenshin, you knew, like, you didn't know his name, but he's like, you knew that thing was coming for you, blah blah blah. And this dude looks like he'd be my favorite character in a fighting game, 100%. Like super
Dude,
cool.
Any character that has that giant sword, right, is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, like because it starts off like the coolest character from a fighting game, and then he quickly becomes the coolest character in RPG when he's like, I'm living outside of town, maybe one day you'll want to have a sparring match with me. It's like, okay, they make this plot go along, I'm gonna have to fight him, he's gonna join my party, like that's
right.
basically. And so then it turns out he didn't even pay for his food, which I thought was like a really funny thing. Was that in the sub too?
Yeah.
Okay, because like, yeah, the girl comes out, she's like, Sanosuke, and they're like, oh, what? It's like, he didn't pay.
Right.
But yeah, and then like trying to think, he gets basically like lied to, by the douchebag from the first episode with the weird mouth, and the guy convinces him, hey, you need to fight this dude. He's the Batosai. And he's like, I'll pay for you to do it. He's like, I'm not gonna take your money. I'm doing this for the fight. But then he also has like a score to settle, and like it's revealed he was a part of this group that got lied to. And then I also had like probably which I'll get to when we talk about favorite anime, like best animation. This has like one of the best animation scenes, which is like very common in the older animes like this, where like it does the stop, but like it still shows like the violence in that way. It's really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then we get to the fight, which the fight was pretty lame. What did you think of the first fight between the two?
No, I agree with you totally.
And
There was lots of build up where I was like, this is gonna be amazing, and it really
yeah,
wasn't.
and then we'll get to it because they fight again next episode. But like this first one, it's just like, and you can kind of tell, like at least I thought so when I was watching. I'm like, this is not going to end well for him, because he's literally sounding like me when I'm deadlifting close to my max. Like he is grunting and like breathing heavy and like trying to swing this thing, even though he can hold it with one arm, like it's no big deal. And it's just like, I'm like, because there's parts where he's like holding it like this, which would be super hard to do. But then like he's swinging, he's like, and it's just like, dude, maybe pick a faster weapon, or like have like a side weapon. So like when Kenshin gets in close after you miss, you can like, get him with that.
Right. I agree.
And they're building this sword up. Like this was built by a town, and he can cut the horse rider and the horse in half, and it, like it's super cool, and all this different stuff. And then next episode we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But then at the end they're like, it's just the beginning of the adventure we could share. And it's like, yeah, he's in the beginning thing. It's gonna happen. But I still like this episode a good bit more. But yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, Cigar is like a cool character. Just because that first fight wasn't the best doesn't mean he isn't going to add a lot to like, the party or the story.
He's very much the Vegeta though, where it's like, to tell how tough this character is, they're going to beat him up. And then, boy, it's going to make things scary for Kenshin.
Yeah, for real.
Like that's 100% the vibes I'm getting from this guy.
Yeah.
But then episode 5, the reverse blade sword versus the Zanbato, beyond the battle. And yeah, so they're basically just, this is the episode where they're actually going to do the fight. And like it's really funny because like Kenshin hits him one, like he gets a good hit on him because this dude's too slow. But then the dude gets back up, and Corey and Yoshi, they're watching and are like, oh no, normally one hit, that's normally enough to take out his opponents. What's he gonna do now? And I'm just like, hit him again.
Right.
Like he hit him so easily. Like it's not like this is gonna, it's gonna be an issue for him to hit him again. Like the dude didn't even come close to getting him. And then like this sword that's supposed to be amazing gets cut in half by a reverse blade sword, which is like, I don't know how Kenshin cut the sword in half.
I guess the whole town that made the sword were not great blacksmiths.
Yeah, they did not do their stuff too well. But yeah, it was just like, I don't know, this fight was pretty lame. I think the next episode we do get like a much cooler fight scene, and I think they can do fight scenes well, so it's not like too disappointing that way. But yeah, I don't know, it just could have worked better. And then like the fact that like Kenshin's kind of a bullet timer is pretty cool, but I think he needs to change the name of like his attacks, because he's got the dragon dodge, and that's just where like he just takes his sword out and like Innie washes it, where he just and it just knocks the dude out like from far away. It's like, you have ranged attacks with a sword and you call it a dodge.
Right. That could be like a poor translation thing too.
Yeah. What was it on yours? Was it dragon dodge also, or do you remember?
I honestly don't remember.
All right, because then he also had the dragon hammer dodge. Still not a dodge. He's attacking from the top.
Right. Well, at least the hammer part makes sense.
Yeah. And then this is just one of the this isn't gonna be my favorite, but this is also one of the ones that are just really funny to me. Um, you have incredible stamina. First person I've seen standing after such a blow.
I know the who your shipping award is going to.
Oh yeah. But yeah, like basically after that, he explains, after he beats him up, he explains why he became a wanderer, even though he's staying put. So yeah, this is like about the episode where I'm like, yeah, okay, you're wearing me down, Kenshin. I'm starting to like you more and like liking this series more and more as it goes along. And the last episode 6, the appearance of Kirogasa, visitor from the shadows. And so yeah, it's got this dude murdering a bunch of people at the start super quickly. People can't even move, like he's so skilled at his killing stuff. And then he also, like, first off, Yoshi has a part where he's like very much a mom, because like those two little girls are like, I don't want to eat this because Corey made some really bad food.
And he
he's
straight
like,
up pulls there's kids in Africa.
Yeah, he's like, there's starving kids in China.
Right?
You need to be grateful. And
Yeah.
then like Kenshin, the ever great boyfriend, which that's one of the things I do like about this. I'm gonna I have written down where it's just like, yeah, there is no will they won't they crap with this. It's just like Corey clearly digs Kenshin. Kenshin clearly digs her.
Mm-hmm.
There's none of that like, don't go, that type of crap, like
Yeah.
It's just,
it's not like I wanted you to notice me.
Yeah, like it's none of that crap. It's just like,
yeah,
they're pretty much adults about it. That's crazy. But Kenshin's like, I think she's getting a lot better at this. Like, like he's like, being the supportive boyfriend to her bad cooking.
But dude,
and
the man, oh sorry, go ahead. You were gonna say something.
No, you've
I'm moving forward. So
move forward.
Okay. Janae, the bad guy, I think looks crazy cool for like this era of anime. You know what I mean?
No, I agree, dude. And yeah, I mean, we get a little backstory. Like, Kenshin knows who this dude is. Like, they, are both very skilled assassins. They both know of each other. And again, this is another weird thing. There's a part where the dude's wearing a hat. Kenshin cuts the hat, reverse blade. Make it make sense, people. But yeah, I mean, it's like, oh, why did I write that down? I put dude sounds like me in Skyrim. Oh yeah, because there's a part where it's just like after the, like, basically it's like he's super well trained and he's just like murdering people because he kept doing like basically side quests, and then he's just like, I'm just gonna keep killing people. And I'm like, that's how I am in like all RPGs where it's like a choice to be good or bad. It's like I'm always evil. So I get it. Like, this dude, he's making sense to me.
You and I are such opposites on that aspect.
Well, it's just like I want to steal this thing, and then the person owns the house attacks me, so it's like I gotta kill him. And then the dude gives Kenshin a day to prep for their fight, and Corey wants Kenshin, like basically like, oh, like, I want you, don't do this. And then he's like, I have to. And she's like, then take my scarf. He's like, what am I gonna do with this? And then she's like, well, I don't know, just take it.
That's not how it was in the sub.
It was basically like, what am I supposed to do with this? She's like, I don't know, you just have to bring it back to me.
Right.
It's like, for luck. And I was like, I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
And then I put the bad guy is literally Mr. Steal Your Girl, because he literally steals Corey.
Dude, but here's the thing. So that scene, bad guy, Janae, when he swoops down that like rapid river and grabs her, I like gasped, because I really like, it happens quick and I did not expect it's awesome. It. So I was like, but
his little line of dialogue there too, where he's like, here, he's like, hope you don't mind if I borrow your girl.
Dude, see, that's why I can't do the dubs. It's just like, even if it's not supposed to be, it's always so goofy like that.
I mean, it was pretty great. I liked it. That made me laugh. But Yeah, no, I thought that episode was really good, and it does have me like,
Oh,
man,
it's the best one of the
I did
series
want to
so
go
far.
to episode 7 really bad, but
Hmm.
I was like, no, we can't.
Yeah. I cannot wait to see that fight because I feel like this one's actually going to be a good fight, unlike the last two episodes
I did.
against Sagara.
If I remember, it is pretty cool, and it does have like a pretty heavy ending, if I remember correctly. So we'll have to wait and see for that.
Yeah, Karu dies.
Okay, so now we can go into our award section. So memorable animation. Do you have like any animation from this that you're just like, yes, this part was the coolest to me? What about it made you go like, yeah, or like, or it could be even bad. It could be really bad animation, like how that dude's mouth wasn't moving or whatever.
I mean, it may sound silly. I have two, but one is when Janae steals Kaoru because, like I said, I gasped. I wasn't expecting it. And then, as far as like cool fight scenes, the episode where Kenshin takes out all of the Yakuza, I thought was awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so for me, it would have been that time when it's the flashback and all those guys are getting shot with guns, and it cuts like the freeze frame with like the different colors and all that stuff. I just think that looks really cool. It's one of those things that like happens in anime, happens like on these older animes. It doesn't really happen as much now. I just think it works because I think they're kind of like working with what they could do, and it just
Well,
it looks
sure.
good. Okay, so memorable line award. I'm gonna let you go first while I search for mine in my crackhead notes.
So yeah, this may not seem like anything crazy, but I just liked the context in which it was said. But Kenshin is talking to Yahiko, and he's just like, "No one can take away your pride," and that was kind of like a little bit of a lesson for him. Just no matter what you've been through, like, you know, be the good, basically. So
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay, I'm trying to find it because there's this really funny one that had to do with eggplant that just made me chuckle. Okay, I'm just gonna have to go with the stamina one, I think.
Which is
Because
so silly.
I know,
This
but
is this is great for the listeners.
I know, right? So yeah, I'm gonna have to probably go with the stamina. I'll do like my pretty dramatic bro, don't you think? One. Um trying to sorry, he goes, so it's where is it? Oh, I just saw this one too. I need to like do better with my crackhead notes, I swear. Okay, it's the overly dramatic one. Yeah, it's like women and children should never witness the savage reality of two men fighting for their lives. That was like right after he ended their first fight because kids were watching.
Right.
Because Corey was there the whole time, so was Yoshi. But then the other two little girls were like, "Hey, what's going on?" And then and he's like, "Whoa, these are the only child women here. Those I don't know what these other two are."
Right.
Okay, and then let's go with the Who We Shippin' Award.
I mean, there's not like so much going on where I pick someone outside of the one that's given us basically.
Yeah,
So, I'm all about Kaoru and Kenshin.
I'm gonna say Yoshi and one of the little girls because like they're about the same age.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of will they, won't they with one of them probably.
I mean, maybe there is later in the show. Who
Yeah.
knows?
And then did it age well to you? Do you think like because this is like like I said in the to start, it is a bit older. It's from '96. Do you think it's holds up with today's anime since you watch a lot of today's anime?
I mean, that's a different question than does it age well. I think yes, it does age well. Does it look great compared to today's stuff? Not really, but I think it does age well. The the fights, I mean, the fight scenes that we get are the fight scenes that every anime had in the 90s basically. And I still laughed at the jokes and stuff. So yeah, I think the humor's there. I think the animation's there. Yes, it ages well.
I agree. I think it does age well. I mean, to me, it does. Like saying it ages well does mean it can't. To me personally, it does hold up with the other animes today. It's, like the humor is there, even though some of the parts aren't supposed to be funny. Some of the animation is rough at parts, but you get that with today's anime too. It's just
Mhm.
like they can do more today. That's about the only real difference.
Right.
So, who is the best character in the series so far? This will we're gonna need to keep this up so we can change it. If like the next 6 you're like, nah, I really like Billy Bob, or whoever.
Um, I mean, it's really hard not to say Kenshin, but for the sake of not picking the main character, I'll say Kaoru, because she, you know, she's kind of a pain in the butt, but at the same time, she rushed off to help Yahiko when she really didn't need to and was willing to like die to free him from the Yakuza. And and you can tell that she has a soft spot for the kid, even though he calls her like old and ugly and stuff like that when he lives with
Yeah.
them. I gotta go with her.
For me, it's the grandpa. I love that guy. He is so funny. It's the fact that he's just like, yeah, bringing my kids over here. They're gonna, my grandkids over here. They're gonna eat your food. I don't know why he's over there all the time. Like, because he's not really related to her.
He's like the doctor
Yeah, but like, why is he there?
for an empty dojo.
So yeah, I just thought that I think he's hilarious. So the fact that he's like, yeah, she's not much of a babysitter for my grandkids. Okay, so final thoughts on this show. You want to keep watching it? Like, how would you rate it? Too. We'll do those two things.
What's our scale?
1 out of 5.
1 out of 5. Um, right. I would say I'd average it to a 4 because even though I liked it from the start, like episode 6 had me like it took everything not to go ahead and watch number 7, and that says a
Yeah.
lot. So I think that if that's the direction the show's going, it's really going to start to ramp up. And so I'll say for right now it's a 4, but I think it's got a lot of potential to change to a 5.
Yeah, for me right now, I'm only at a 2.5 because those first 3 episodes, it was rough to get through, and then even like the back half, like the first 2 of the other 3, I was still kind of like so on, but that last one is pretty exciting. So I'm, like I said, I'm interested. I'm still here. I mean, if I could stick with Emerald Hulk for 50 issues, I can stick with this for at least 6 more episodes. So yeah, I'm for sure gonna watch it again.
It's fun to see 2 different anime fans because we are vastly different when it comes to anime. So
Yeah,
I like hearing the opinions.
and so we already know that this is gonna be number 1 on our Toonami show list, on our Toonami anime rating system, or TARS for short. So I mean, it's number 1 on mine. Is it number 1 on yours right now?
It is number 1.
Okay, so I actually have a randomizer pulled up on on this other computer. I'm gonna find that really quick. Okay, so I have all of our different animes, which hopefully we'll have recorded a precursor show that will list all of the animes out, so which what we have to choose from. But I'm just gonna hit decide, and now it's shuffling, and now we're gonna make our choice on what the next one is gonna be. Mobile Suit Gundam.
Okay.
So I think this is on Netflix, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
So this is like one of the, I don't think I ever watched this Gundam because like Toonami always started it off with what would it have been? It would have been Gundam Wing that it started off with. And so never watched anything outside of Gundam Wing because I was like, this is way cooler. And then like all the other stuff is nothing like Gundam Wing. So I never watched this one. What about you? Did you ever watch Mobile Suit?
I may have. I've seen something Gundam, like episodes from a Gundam, but I mean, if it was Gundam Wing for you, it was probably Gundam Wing for me.
I don't know, because okay, so I just have like vague memories, and this might not be accurate, but I remember when I was in college, you would text me about Gundam every once in a while, and it was like stuff I have never heard of. So
Yeah.
there's a good chance it wasn't Gundam Wing.
Okay, fair enough. We'll find out. Like I
Yeah,
might be like, oh yeah, I remember this.
yeah. So we'll see. But there's like 50 different Gundams, so who knows what you
I
want.
know. And I mean, that kind of speaks to the franchise, right? Like so many people love this. Like there's got to be something to it. So
Yeah, it's
we're going to
just
find out.
looking at the way it's like time stream works. I don't get it. Like I've tried to be like, oh, I want to watch, like continuity wise, one that all the continuity goes together, and they're like, there really isn't one.
Right.
It's just there's a lot with the Zakus or whatever, and that's the big thing. But okay, man, I think that wraps up. I'm gonna like come up with the introduction or like the next time for you to do,
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, I think we are good to end it.
All right. Well, hey, thanks everybody for listening.
Yeah.
Let us know if you've seen Rurouni Kenshin, what you think of it. Try not to spoil it for us, because we do plan on continuing it down the line. We just don't want to do like 20 episodes
Yeah,
all about
Rurouni
Rurouni
Kenshin back to
Kenshin.
back.
So it's gonna be a lot of jumping around, but that's because there's so many good ones out there that we want to get to. So if you've seen it, if you've seen the first 6 episodes, let us know what you think about it, and
And
let
hey,
us know some of your favorites.
fun fact too, we're gonna have guests on this one. So like
Mhm.
if you're just like listening to this and you go, boy, I loved Rurouni Kenshin. And then it's like, well, hit us up, email us at twoworldspodcast@gmail.com. That's our email, right?
It is.
Yeah. So hit us up there or on our Twitter or on whatever, and then just be like, hey guys, I freaking love Rurouni Kenshin. I named my firstborn Rurouni and my second one Kenshin. So I need to be on this podcast.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, again, thanks for checking in with us here. Hopefully you like the content, and we'll catch you next time on Anime Boys for Life.
Anime Boys for Life. Bye.